Evening, guys. Welcome to your Paper 2 AQA GCSE Geography live stream. Who has joined us this evening to prepare for tomorrow's Paper 2 Geography GCSE exam? Hit us up in the chat, say hello. Let's see what you're up to. It's a difficult one. It's so difficult for you guys. You've got maths tomorrow morning, really important exam, and obviously Paper 2 Geography in the afternoon. So you've got this balancing act to do. I'm going to stay around for about an hour tonight. So I'm going to be here till 7 p.m. to go through any key content that you want me to run through ready for this exam. We'll have a look at the exam paper, the structure of it, things that are likely to come up in tomorrow's exam paper. What else can we do? Some little cheats and little tips of how to answer human geography style questions. And we might have a bit of time for a case study. And I have got a little quiz as well. Maybe we've got time for the quiz. We'll see if we get onto that little bit as well. So thanks for joining us. Let's have a look who is in the chat. So hello, Mod. Thank you so much for joining. Mod, appreciate that. Thank you there. What is the map? What map? This here. This is a wooden fish. This is not a map. This is a wooden fish, yeah. Because I've got another YouTube channel which is related to fish. So there you go. Hello, Funny Ninja. Good to see you, Funny Ninja. Good evening to everybody. Say hello to everybody in the chat. Obviously, on a live stream, it's you can talk to each other. You can ask each other questions about tomorrow's exam. Please be polite. Please be respectful to other members in the chat as well. Hello to Fred. Regulars are in here. Hello, Adore Flowers. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. I like your little tag, your little YouTube tag. That's pretty cool. Corey, hi Corey, good to see you again. And Joan's in. I'm sure Joan uses different tags. I'm sure you do. I think they meant the map on the thumbnail. Oh yes, yeah, that is. Because paper 2 is usually a bit more challenging than paper 1. Let me know how paper 1 went in the chat. How did paper 1 go for you in GCSE geography? Let me know how paper 1 went for you. Give it a score out of 5. 5 being amazing and 1 being it was terrible. Well, generally, most students like paper 1. Paper 2 they think is a bit trickier. So that's why we're here tonight, try and get you a bit more confident about paper 2. So the map on the picture got kind of like panic and scary bay and stuff like that. It was just to get you most geographers sat this evening will be worried about the exam tomorrow. Okay, paper 2 has lots of case studies. Paper 2 is quite broad, so most geographers are a bit more worried about paper 2. Wow, well done, guys. Look at this. Paper 1 went well. Valerie said a 3. That's a good score. We'll go with that. That's a good score. Lena. Is it Lena? Good to see you, Lena. Adore the flowers. Love that. Paper 1 went well. Yes, good. Cody said that paper 1 was not that difficult. Yeah, I love that. Again, tomorrow I think will be a bit more challenging. But if you get the quality geography in there, make sure that you explain your points really well, evaluate, give opinions, give judgments. And most importantly, it's a geography exam. Mention places. Mention places. Mention case studies. Case studies are quite hard to remember. Everyone struggles with case studies around the country. But if you can remember a case study, even better. Okay. So, good. 4 out of 5. Well happy with that. 5 out of 5. Oh, my God. I don't think I've ever given an exam 5 out of 5. So I love the confidence. Yeah, I love the confidence. 5, well done. 4 out of 5. So, yeah, good. So we're all on a really good starting point ready for tomorrow's paper 2. Right, let me talk about the structure of paper 2. I'm just going to make a few notes on this little piece of paper here. And then I'll go through some of the things I think you need to know for tomorrow's exam, some of the big hitters that I think potentially could come up. And then we'll talk about some cheats. 47 out of 5. Yes. Well, there is a competition. Who can get the most marks on geography? I encourage you to join in this competition. There is a challenge to see who can get the most marks this summer. Right, I'm just going to switch cameras here, guys, and take you to the structure of paper 2. Just give you a brief overview of what's expected with this paper 2 exam tomorrow. Then talk about some of the things that are most likely to appear in the exam. Let me just make sure I've got everything set up on this screen. Let me just make myself a little bit smaller, not bigger. There we go. But that's better, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a little look at. Oh, you're already getting some good luck from the mod. Yes, thank you very much, mod. Yeah, good luck for your exam and know your case studies. So this, my moderator did his GCSE geography 2 years ago, and it was very, very successful. Yeah, paper 2, get to know your case studies. Okay, really important. Get on Shobi, go to all paper 2 case studies and sit and try and swat up on those as much as you can. Right, so let's have a look then. Paper 2, as we know, is the 3rd of June. It's tomorrow. It's in the afternoon, PM. What else do we know? It's 1 hour, 30 minutes, okay, of action-packed fun. In terms of timings, you should have no more than 2 minutes to check your work. Check work, okay. So it's 88 marks in 90 minutes. That gives you 2 minutes for checking. We ensure that we leave no questions blank, okay? So we have a no blank policy just to make sure that we always have a go, especially human geography. There are many ways to answer a question. Just have a go. You might get the correct answer somewhere in there, okay? Just have a go. Always have a go. Right, how's it structured? So question one is urban issues and challenges. Urban issues and challenges. What do we know about urban issues and challenges? It's 30 minutes in length. This covers things like urbanization, the growth of population in urban areas, the challenges and opportunities living in urban areas, and its sustainability. So they're the 3 main areas that come up in that particular section. So what do we think is going to come up? What's most likely to come up in tomorrow's exam? So we think sustainable cities will be a big feature of this part of the exam. Sustainable cities and sustainable strategies. I would strongly know a case study for that as well. Potential case studies could be London, or it could be Freiburg in Germany. But we think sustainable city strategies will come up tomorrow. What does that include? That could include water conservation in cities and in homes. It could include renewable energy. Renewable energy. These are the big hitters. It could include, green spaces. That's a big part of sustainability. Parks, gardens, and things like that. And sustainable transport, congestion charge, ULEZ zones, and using bike lanes, cycle lanes, things like that could come up in that particular section. So in this section, I think sustainability is going to be a big feature tomorrow. Thinking about sustainability anyway, make sure in your answers tomorrow that you use the word sustainability. You've got to use that. I challenge every one of you on the live stream to use the word sustainable in tomorrow's geography exam at least once, maybe 5 times. Yeah, like put it all over. Sustainable means good for the future of the planet, good for future generations. It's about protecting the environment and making sure that everybody benefits. So there's your challenge tomorrow, guys. That's your first one. Use the word sustainable if something's positive for the planet, if something's positive for the environment. Or unsustainable if it's not. That'd be a good one. Okay, what else do we think might come up tomorrow? We might think regeneration is possibly going to be on. Regeneration of an urban area. Okay, so that would be the case study for that one is Stratford, London Olympics. Great little case study. Area used to be industrial, leather works, chemical works, salmon factory, used to be a very industrial area, low quality housing, lots of deprivation, lots of poverty, multicultural population. And in 2012, the government led regeneration in that area to create a new sport-led regeneration project. And we've got loads of good stuff there now. We've got East Village, which is the old Athletes Village, which has new housing. We've got the stadium, which is the West Ham football ground. We've got shopping, retail, lots going on there. That's a case study I would definitely check out. London Olympics regeneration. Again, check out on Shobi our case study for London Olympics regeneration. I think that is potentially up tomorrow. Other big hitters in this section could be opportunities and challenges. Opportunities and or challenges of a HIC city. So depending on where you are studying and where you're watching this live stream from, you may have studied a different one, but we studied London. So opportunities and challenges in London. Let's just have a quick go on the chat, actually, guys. Hit me in the chat. Can you give me a challenge first, a challenge of living in London, or the challenges of London? Have a little go. Whilst I have a cup of tea. What would you write for the challenges of a HIC city such as London? What are the challenges? Hit us up in the chat. What have we got? Hopefully it's coming through. What are the challenges of living in a HIC city such as London? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these to our little revision mind map here. Add them to your revision as well as they come through. Yep, high house prices, really good one. Especially if you're talking about London. Especially in places like Kensington. Kensington or West London. Yeah. Very high house prices there. What else have we got? Pollution, absolutely. Atmospheric pollution from vehicles and industry is a challenge. Well done. Atmospheric pollution levels, usually from transport. Other specific challenges of London. Low life expectancy. Yeah. So you've hit the main one. Okay. The main challenge of London is inequality. Okay. Inequality. That's the one that you need to say. West London is wealthy, happy, good life expectancy in West London. They can live up to 85 years in certain parts of West London, like Kensington. Sorry, guys. And then in East London, like places like Newham, Peckham, that sort of area. East London, things are lower quality of life, so maybe less than 78 years life expectancy. Houses are cheaper, higher poverty rates, all that sort of thing. Funny Ninja, that is a brilliant answer. That is the best answer you can give. The main challenge of London is inequality. There's vast inequality between the richest and the poorest members of the society in London. What's this one about child poverty? This looks... Child poverty is 37%, 35%. There's a bit of a disagreement, but obviously that's very high, especially probably in East London where child poverty is going to be highest. So that is really bad, isn't it? That we have our capital city with child poverty. Let's just say it's at 35%. With your data in your paper 2 exam, you know, just a ballpark figure, as long as it sounds realistic, yeah, that would be acceptable. Okay, child poverty rates are high. Anything else about East London? Sorry, about London, as terms of challenges that we've got. We haven't got opportunities yet. 2 years today. Okay. Other challenges of London, I would go with, which are good, is things like urban sprawl. Okay, urban sprawl is when the city is growing outwards. Big problem of London. The city is growing out into what we call the green belt, the green area outside the city. So the pushing out of the city towards the green belt, urban sprawl is a great one. Other challenges of London, we've talked about pollution. Let's talk about crime. That is a challenge of London. Significant crime, especially violent crime, is a problem. And last but not least, just to add to that, we'll go with another challenge of London is waste management. Yeah, a lot of the waste goes to Essex because London is struggling to cope with the amount of waste within the city. So challenges of a HIC city, such as London, could be urban sprawl, house prices, crime, especially violent crime. Inequality is the best one to talk about. Okay, that's the biggest issue of London. And atmospheric pollution and waste management, all issues in London. So if that's the challenges of London, what are the opportunities? Let me just go over this side, guys. What are the opportunities? Hit us up in the chat. What are the major opportunities of London? And try and be specific here. Name buildings, name events, name areas if you can. Opportunities of London. Yeah, recycling is a big issue in London. London's recycling rates are as low as 20%. Okay, which is it's low. One of the lowest that I've seen. Much higher in places like India and low-income countries. But yeah, what's the opportunities? We're going to go with the positives now. This might come up tomorrow. Opportunities of a HIC city, such as London. What would you say for that? Okay, so job opportunities is a good one. Okay. Can we be more specific? We can. So job opportunities mainly in tertiary and quaternary, service-based and research-based. I would go with things like finance and banking. And I would mention probably Canary Wharf as an area of London where there's significant high-paid jobs, high-paid employment. Okay, so don't just say jobs. It's a bit vague. Yeah, high-paid employment. Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's one that I would put in there. Yes, love that one. Josh, well done. Yeah, it's got a very multicultural society. That's a really good one. Multicultural society. Sorry, guys, I'm just making my rough revision notes. Multicultural society, diverse community. Yeah, which is brilliant. Yeah, bringing people together, and that you've actually named the Notting Hill Carnival, which is a celebration of Caribbean culture. It happens every year, and they celebrate Caribbean culture, in particular Jamaica and people like that, a place like that. Yeah, ULEZ zones, yeah, good. That's an opportunity. Transport is definitely good in London. It's very integrated, so that could be a word that you might use. Integrated transport system. Integrated transport, where you pay for like one ticket, and then you get everything that you need in that one ticket. Things like the Oyster card. So those people that don't live in London probably don't know, but you get an Oyster card, one ticket, really, really good. Other opportunities are coming in. Education, good. So we've got education is a real strength of London, such as Imperial College London, which is a university. It's one of the best in the world, which is down there, Imperial College London, which is good. Right, any others? We could have things like arts, sports, okay? Things like Wembley Stadium, the National Art Museum, like National Gallery, the museums, such as the Natural History Museum. It's the central part of government. Central government are located down there as well. So if you're working in politics and things like that, central government is in London. So areas of possibility there as well. Just to give you a nice one as well, it is a national park city, which means it's got a lot of green space. It's a national park city. It's got over 45% green space, which is a great opportunity. Lots of parks, lots of gardens, Hyde Park as well. Lovely. Diane, awesome. Yeah. Greening, urban, I love that. Carbon sinks, absolutely. Prevents climate change. You've nailed it there. And Josh as well. Theatres, West End. Yeah, West End is a really good one to mention. That's where the shows are. Things like Lion King, things like that. Okay. So we think that might be on tomorrow. Opportunities and challenges of a HIC city. You might get both. You might just get one or the other. So let's have a quick summary then. The main challenges are, let's have a look. Economic, environmental. So most of the challenges tend to be economic or social. So economic or environmental, just as a bit of a reflection. If we look at that, there's only one social there, which is crime. And then the positives tend to be social, political, social. There's a bit more, it's mainly socio-economic benefits here. So most of the benefits tend to be, most of the opportunities tend to be socio-economic for London, and most of the challenges tend to be economic, environmental, okay? As a bit of a summary there to what is going on. All right. So we think that those things potentially could come up in this particular part of the exam: sustainable cities, regeneration, and opportunities and challenges of a HIC city. What else have I got on my list? I've also got challenges in this section, challenges in a LIC city. This is less likely in an LIC/NE city, okay? Now, if you're at my school, we study Mumbai. If you are at another school, you might have studied like Rio de Janeiro. That's quite a common one in Brazil. You may have studied at another city, but we study Mumbai. So what are the challenges of living in Mumbai? With reference to Dharavi, the slum. So all of these, Rio de Janeiro has slums called favelas. Dharavi has slums, they're called slums in India. What are the challenges? Hit me up in the chat. What are the main challenges of living in Mumbai, or in particular in these heavily crowded, overcrowded slums? Let's just go for, just because we're doing quick revision, I've got enough space for 4 challenges. That is one of the best examples of, this is the main one, guys, lack of sanitation. This is the biggest killer and health issue in slums, lack of sanitation. Yeah, this is a lack of flushing toilets, clean water, big problems in our slum areas, which leads to things like disease, such as cholera. Okay, and somebody's very much done their revision. In Dharavi, there are 4,000 cases of illness linked to dirty water each day. So fantastic. Poverty, yeah, poverty is a massive problem. That's why they live there. It's rent-free. They live there because it's rent-free, and there generally is a lack of poverty. So it's poverty and deprivation. Yeah, access to education and healthcare. I know their slums have got education there, but not everybody manages to get a place in the hospitals and things, and then healthcare might be an issue as well. Poverty. Any other challenges of living in Dharavi or a slum? Other ones you may have got is overcrowding, obviously, and inadequate housing would be another one. Inadequate housing. Dangerous, lacking facilities, very close together, made of flammable material. Ooh, Diane, that is awesome. Yeah, this is a big challenge. 1 billion. So it's one of the wealthiest areas of India in terms of Mumbai. It's got an economy of worth 1 billion, but it's all informal sector, which means it's non-taxable. So the government don't benefit from all this work. Government not benefiting basically from it. They can't use that money to help develop the country, develop the city of Mumbai. That is a very, very smart answer. Well done, you. You are well set there for tomorrow if this one comes up. Yeah, £1 billion informal economy. That's a negative for the country because those people don't pay tax on their wage. That means that the government don't get as much tax money, and therefore they have less money to spend education, schools, things like that in Mumbai. Right. So same with Lagos in Nigeria. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lagos, all of these LICs and NE countries have a lot of informal labor. things like cleaning shoes, cleaning out ears, selling things, street sellers. A lot of this work is informal labor, and therefore the country as a whole doesn't benefit from the work being done by these laborers. So that is question 1. That's what we think is most likely to appear in this section, okay, with some quick revision there as well. Right, so 30 minutes on this question. Keep it tight. Make sure you use place names, facts and figures, and you'll be all good to go. Lagos is a case study I use for this part. Absolutely, yeah. You can use Lagos. You can also use the Makoko slum, the floating slum, is a really good case study for this as well. So you can use that one as part of your exam. Really good. Right. So once you've done question 1, guess what? Yes, you're on to question 2. Obviously, it's economic geography. This one, Makoko. Yeah, I thought it was Makoko. Yeah, a brilliant little case study. That one is really good. Economic challenges, basically economic challenges. And here you need to know 2 countries. You need to know an LIC/NE country economy, and you need to know a HIC economy. For everyone, that is the UK. So everybody does the same one here. Everybody does the UK economy. For this one, it could be different. You might study Nigeria, which is very common, or you might study Brazil. These are the most common ones across the country. But you need to know the economy of 2 countries, Brazil and UK, or Nigeria and UK. Okay. So just checking what this is happening. Good. Right. So that's what it is. Right now, what we think is going to be on this part of the exam. Maybe I should have got a new piece of paper here because I'm all over the shop with my revision, but that's how revision is. So we think we might get measuring development. Measuring development could come up here. In particular, development indicators. How do we measure development? So potentially you might get the Human Development Index as a way of measuring development. Human Development Index, or HDI. I'll talk a little bit about that right now. What is it? It's a United Nations measure. What does it measure? It measures quality of life. It measures quality of life. It's the best measure of quality of life. It goes on a scale from 0 to 1, and 1 being a HIC, or the best quality of life. Okay, let's zoom you in here, guys. Okay, so it's a United Nations measure, measures quality of life, scale to 0 to 1, and it uses 3 indicators to do its measurements. These are GNI per capita, wealth per person. It uses years of schooling. It uses years of schooling, and it also uses life expectancy. Okay, life expectancy. Okay, at the top of this, in first place, is Iceland. Many of the European kind of Scandinavian countries become very high. So Iceland has the highest quality of life anywhere in the world. And then at the bottom, which I think is about 180 something, whatever it is, plus, is South Sudan. It's got the lowest HDI rating. So you might get something like this. What is the Human Development Index? How do we measure countries? We can measure them using the Human Development Index. Really good measure, accurate measure. Includes 3 measures in one. Other ways to measure countries are infant mortality, which is another one that might be on tomorrow. This is the number of babies that die before the age of 1 per 1,000 of the population. Very, very grim statistic. So this is the number of children that die before the age of 1. Oh, sorry, guys. Number of children that die before the age of 1 per 1,000 of the population. Okay, so crazy measures. Any others that we might? Okay, so measuring development might come up. Other things that you can use to measure development are things like life expectancy. We'll just add that one in there as well. I think most people know what that is. The average number of years that you are expected to live. And then birth rate is the number of births per 1,000. and fertility rate could be another one. These are all measures of countries' development. These are all social measures, measuring people's quality of life. Fertility rate is the number of children per female. So that could be there as well. It is. I said that right at the start, Cheyenne. Thanks for joining us. It is really peak. I couldn't have put it better myself. It is terrible that they put maths and geography on the same day. Yeah, but the only thing is, it's fair for everyone. Like every student around the country has maths and geography on the same day. You're all stressing about it. You've all got the same challenge, as it were. So it's fair's fair. Don't worry. If you're a good geographer, you'll still get a really good mark. Okay, don't worry too much. Don't stress too much. If you've worked hard for 2 years, you'll still get a really good mark in your exam. So measuring development could be on tomorrow's exam. The other thing that could be on is the demographic transition model. Is something that hasn't been demographic transition model. This is something that's not been on for a little bit of time, and we do feel that it could be there. It's also known as the DTM model. It's a 5-stage model that works this sort of way. 5-stage model, and as countries develop over time, their populations change. Okay, so if I can just get 5 little stages here, just going to quickly draw a very, very quick demographic transition model. So as countries develop, which means improve quality of life, that's what development means, improve quality of life, their birth rates and death rates change. So I'm just going to use 2 colors here. I'm going to use red for death rate, and I'll use green for birth rate. So stage 1, let's just put stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stage 1, high and fluctuating birth rate, high and fluctuating death rate. Okay. Stage 2, countries have a very high birth rate and a falling death rate. Maybe I should have put my colours here, actually. Green is birth. I'm just going to put BR, birth rate, and red is death rate. Okay. So in countries in stage 2, which is all LIC countries are in stage 2, birth rate is high, death rate is falling. What does that mean? Many women have lots of children, seen as workers and labourers, lack of contraception, low status of women, and high infant mortality rate. So lots of children die, so they have many births. Death rate is declining because slow improvements to sanitation, improved clean water supplies, and maybe there is an access to a doctor. That doctor might be miles away, but they may be improving access to doctors. Stage 3 is when the birth rate starts to decline and the death rate continues to decline. In this stage, we've got our NEE countries, China, India, very high populations, but their birth rates are declining and so are their death rates. Mainly because women desire smaller families, women are starting to work, be educated, and improve contraception, things like that as well. Stage 4, low birth rate, low death rate. There we go. HICs are in stage 4. In this country, we have a replacement rate of about 2 to 1. So for every death, we get 2 people born. We've got slightly higher birth rate than our death rate, but it's low because of the status of women, the cost of raising children. All of that is very high. And I asked you in the chat, how many children are you planning to have? Okay, probably not more than 2 now in the UK. Okay, last stage is stage 5. This is countries like Germany and Japan, where their birth rate is now lower than their death rate. They're in population decline. So this is where population is declining. So it's got natural decline in stage 5. These countries here have all got natural increase, where you've got higher birth rates. Natural increase, natural increase, natural increase, natural decrease. In fact, it's probably worth mentioning natural increase. Could be on the exam. Natural increase. What is it? It is equals births minus deaths. That's what natural increase equals, what you're left over with. So if you've got 2 births and 1 death, you're left with 1 overall person added to the planet. Okay, so that's kind of a bit of an impromptu bit of teaching there. But natural increase is a calculation to work out how many people have been added to a country, a place, or an area. Births, take away the deaths, how many has your population risen by? And that would give you your natural increase. So 2 births minus 1 death gives you 1 natural increase. Okay, so that's that section. Let me just go on to my next page. What else could be on the question 2? I've got here the post-industrial economy. Post-industrial UK economy. UK economy. So this could be a big feature tomorrow. Hit us up in the chat. What do we mean by the post-industrial UK economy? What do we mean by that? What is the post-industrial economy? Just whilst I have a quick drink. Thanks for the hearts, guys. I really appreciate the hearts. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps the channel. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Love the love for the channel. Hit the notification bell. We will be doing paper 3 content here as well on our YouTube channel. So you can join us for that. How to write a really good answer about the reservoir and how to tackle field work. So what do we mean by post-industrial economy? Right, let's have a little look. That is true. No countries are in stage 1. What countries? Yeah, none. Just remote tribes. So like remote Amazon tribes. Well done, Diane. Absolutely awesome. You are correct. I should be able to give hearts. Yeah, heart. There you go. Up the screen. That's a good answer. Yes, absolutely. Primary jobs move into tertiary industry. Isn't it after the post-industrial revolution, move to tertiary? Absolutely. Okay. So we'll do it in picture form. So around the 1800s to the 1950s, we had an industrial revolution in the UK. I'm sure you've learned about that in history, where many people worked in secondary manufacturing, and in things like steelworks, shipbuilding, brewing, if you're from Burton, brewery industry, all of these areas, people used to work in these sectors of industry during the 1850s to 1950s. Now the UK economy looks very different. Let's just go to about 1970 to today. The UK economy now looks very different. We've got lots of people working in offices, perhaps working on computers, a lot of web-based, internet-based jobs. Okay, so the post-industrial economy is a rise in tertiary and quaternary jobs. The percentage increase / rise in tertiary and quaternary jobs. So things like finance and banking, again, we can mention that one, is quite a common area of the UK. Science parks could be well mentioned here, the rise of science parks. Okay, and that's what's led to our economy change. 80% of people in the UK work in tertiary sector jobs. You are most likely to work in this sector, providing a service for other people. So what has led to this shift? A couple of things, really. So I'm going to put the reasons why we've changed in the middle here. Reasons for change. The first one is global shift. So cheaper to make things in China, basically. So the reason why we've not got the factories here is because it's now cheaper and more effective to make things in China and India and places elsewhere. We also had then deindustrialization of the UK. Deindustrialization. That's linked to government policy in the 1980s with Margaret Thatcher. She sold off many of the UK's state-owned businesses such as British Gas, British Coal. So government policy led to deindustrialization. And then the rise of technology, the internet, computing, and all those sort of things means that our jobs have now shifted to this area. So the Industrial Revolution is going on in China, in India, in Brazil, the global shift across there. government policy here shifted, deindustrialised the UK, and technology is massive now. Things like internet, computers has led to our rise in our post-industrial economy. So if you get anything about the UK economy, that is what we might need to know. Next one we think could come up is Jamaica or tourism used to support a country's development, So this is on my little checklist today. So we think this is going to be possibly, I actually think this is going to be very likely at tomorrow's exam. So how a country has gone from an LIC to a NE country using tourism as part of its development. Other places might have, other schools might have used a different case study, but we use Jamaica. So how has tourism benefited Jamaica's economy? What have we got for this one, guys? How has tourism benefited Jamaica's economy? What have you got? Hit us up in the chat. If you didn't do Jamaica, just tell me about the country that you studied where tourism has promoted economic development. What have you gone with? Just close that one. So, tourism, how has tourism supported economic development? What did you go with, guys, in the chat? 34% of its GDP is from tourism. I've got 24%, but yeah, I've got 24%, but it sounds close. It does sound close. Okay, I'm just going to give you a few facts then of how Jamaica, as the little journey that Jamaica has been on as an island. So it's a post-colonial country of the UK. So it used to be part of the British Empire. It was really in a bad state before, as the British Empire kind of was there, and we gave it back. We gave it its independence. Okay, so it's a low-income country, not making much money from its economy, but now tourism is its main tool. So it's used tourism as a way of developing the country and improving quality of life. So tourism has had a significant impact on quality of life in Jamaica. So let's have a little look at some key facts, just to rattle down a few key facts. So 24% of the GDP or the GNI is from tourism economy. So a quarter of the wealth of Jamaica now comes from tourism. Why is that important? It creates a huge amount of jobs, 220,000 jobs on the island in tourist-related industries, creating jobs, and that increases the wealth of the population. Okay. Now, whenever you talk about the word jobs, the minute you mention jobs, the minute you write jobs on any answer, you need to talk about this. The multiplier effect. This is probably the second challenge of tomorrow's exam. You must get the multiplier effect into your exam tomorrow at least once. Maybe it comes up a couple of times. If you ever write about creating jobs, jobs are created, jobs are formed, this is massive. Yeah. Multiplier effect. What is it? Okay. It's a big thing. What is it? New jobs. So new jobs, in this case, are created in tourism. This increases wealth for people. Increased wealth. People have got more money because more people are working. That means they're going to have increased spending. They're going to buy more food. They're going to buy houses. They're going to buy cars. They're going to buy things with their wages. What's good about that? Well, everything that you work for and everything that you buy creates tax. So tax revenue goes up, increases. Why is that a good thing? Well, if there's more taxation for the country, this goes to the governments, because governments don't have money. They are not just rich people. Governments get their money from taxation. So they get the money from you and I when they're working or spending money. That goes to government. So government revenue. what would an effective government do? They would increase spending and investment. So they would use that money to invest and improve things like infrastructure. That could be sanitation, or even bigger than that, education in that country or healthcare in that country. Massive. And then what happens then is they might also invest in industry and create more jobs. This is called the multiplier effect. It's absolutely brilliant. It's how you run a country. You get people working, you get people rich, you get them spending, you tax them more, you take the money off them, you then use it to develop the country, you get more people working, and voila, that's how you run a country. So if you've not learned anything from your GCSE geography, just remember that. How to run a country, you've got to have jobs. Create jobs, new industries, new jobs. If I've got any future world leaders watching, any future politicians, a country cannot run without jobs. And this is key. And they created 220,000 jobs, which is amazing. What else happened with tourism in Jamaica? Let's have a little look. Oh, I've got some negatives, though. A couple of negatives of the tourism in Jamaica, which is cruise tourism is not as effective. So people that visit the island on a cruise ship only spend 10% of their kind of money, 10% spend on island, which is much lower than people who stay on the island. So people that are there on hotels spend way more money compared to cruise tourism. The Jamaicans probably don't like cruise tourism. I'm not a Jamaican, but they probably don't like cruise tourism because it doesn't bring the money that permanent hotel stayers would do. There's also economic leakage. So not all the money from the holidays goes to Jamaica. Economic leakage. So, for example, if you book your holiday with TUI, the travel company, the money will go back to Germany. So the holiday, the price of the holiday, the cost of the holiday, a lot of that money will go back to Germany, not to the people of Jamaica. And like most tourism jobs, it's seasonal labor. Seasonal jobs. So in Jamaica, it's probably the summer holidays where it's lower because that's storm season. Yeah, don't go to the Caribbean in the school holidays in the summer. It's storm season, less people travel there. Maybe people working in tourism are let go, and that is a bit of a problem. Although tourism has been very successful to Jamaica's economy, it's helped to boost their infrastructure. They've got high unemployment still, and also there is some environmental degradation, some damage to the environments as well. And the big problem is economic leakage. Not all the money benefits the island of Jamaica. So there you go. We think Jamaica could be on tomorrow as a separate case study. Other things that could be on is, let's just go up here. Question 2, the North-South divide could be a feature of tomorrow's exam. Effectively, the UK is divided into the richer south, where quality of life is higher, people are happier, and the poorer north, where there's inequality. The main reason for this is the north used to be called the powerhouse of industry, or what we call the northern powerhouse. Yeah, the north is the northern powerhouse. This is where industrial Britain ruled. This is where industrial Britain used to manufacture all its steel and its ships and things. And then it had massive deindustrialization, factories closed, and it's in economic decline. Why is that? Because a lack of jobs, basically. Going back to what I said about multiplier effect, there is a lack of jobs in the north. Because the factories have closed and those jobs have not been replaced, the north is more deprived, lower life expectancy, lower house prices, those sort of things. Whereas the south of England, they've got an economy focused on tertiary and quaternary sector. Tertiary and quaternary sector, which is obviously a major part of the UK economy. 25% of the GNI of the UK comes from London, so that is doing really well. Yeah, London's doing really well. 25% of the overall wealth of the UK is generated by that one city. So they're doing really well. Their economies focus on tertiary and quaternary. They weren't impacted by deindustrialization, and all of those things are happening. Just to give you a little bit of a geeky one, the northern cities suffer from something called the spiral of decline. Okay, this is a real geeky one. The spiral of decline. There we go. What does this mean? Well, effectively, people lose their jobs. People lose jobs. That means there's less spending. It's the opposite to the multiplier effect. People lose their jobs, less spending. This leads to less taxation, which means that things decline. Services decline. Shops close, services decline, education might also decline, low aspirations of people because they live in an area where there's no jobs. Why do you know what? I've got nothing to aspire to. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, so lose their jobs, less spending, less taxation, services start to decline, schools, low aspirations can lead to things like crime and then dereliction of buildings, all that sort of stuff. And generally the area just goes into a huge decline, okay? And it needs investment then. It needs government help, needs government money. So many of the northern cities have been affected by the spiral of decline, poverty rises and all that sort of stuff, yeah, in these cities because people just don't have jobs. Crazy. But yeah, so if you're talking about the north-south divide, you might talk about the spiral of decline. Yeah, linked to the loss of jobs up in that area. Okay, I think we will do one. Will we do one more here? Environmental impacts of UK industry. Let's have a go at that. Okay, so we think that maybe environmental impacts of UK industry. And we're going to look at two examples, a positive and a negative. The negative one we're going to look at, it comes up, is quarrying. Quarrying is the negative one. This is the removal of stone in a quarry, usually for the construction industry. Yeah, building roads, building buildings, things like that. Quarrying. It happens a lot in the Derbyshire in the Peak District. Derbyshire Peak District has a lot of quarrying as well. So what are the environmental impacts of quarrying? You do have to use a lot of machinery when you do quarrying. Can you hit us up in the chat, guys? What are the environmental impacts of quarries? What are the impacts of a quarry? These very large holes in the ground where they've been extracting rocks. Could you also put a negative multiplier? Yeah, yeah. So who's that? Wait. The multiplier effect. Yes. No thoughts, all vibes. Yes, definitely. Wait up. My chat thing is freezing up here, guys. Sorry, I can't put your comments on the screen at the moment. It's gone a little bit frozen. Don't know why that's happened, but yeah, absolutely. Multiplier effect. Well done. No thoughts, all vibes. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, there you are. It's finally popped up. Yep. More investment in developing area, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. Well done, Arian. Hopefully, I pronounced your name right. Apologies if I haven't. Could you also talk about the negative? Yeah. So negative multiplier effect, Cheyenne. That's awesome. Call it spiral of decline. That's the most accurate one. Okay, impacts of quarrying. Okay, what have we got here? Habitat loss, massive impact. If you don't mention habitat loss tomorrow, it'll be a miracle because most things in human geography impact negatively on habitats, whether it's drilling for oil in Nigeria, building towns and cities. Yeah, the poor wildlife is affected. Habitat loss, in particular, things like hedgerows usually get damaged or lost in agriculture, in quarrying. This leads to species decline, and it disrupts food chains as well. Yeah, so if you lose a certain species, you might disrupt a food chain as well. That'll affect other species along the way. So yeah, quarrying is really bad for habitat loss. What else we got? Hell yeah, awesome. Nissan plant in Sunderland. Do I need to know quarrying? Yes, so the Nissan plant in Sunderland is really good for, that's what I'm going to do. The car industry is going to be the positive one. You do need a negative environmental industry. So that's why quarrying could be good. Just to give you a named example of a quarry, we've got one called Tor Quarry in Somerset. Yeah. So if you're asked for an example, TOR Quarry in Somerset is a good example here. And yeah, one that you could use. Impacts of quarrying. Can you show the whole paper? I wish I had the whole paper. I'll try and show you a whole paper if I can. We'll see if we can do that at the end. Right, habitat loss. What else we got? The landscape, the scar on the landscape. Yeah. When you're digging for stone, when you're digging out minerals and things like that, you're going to leave this scar on the landscape, this hole with a permanent damage on the landscape. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Scar on the landscape. Brilliant. Other things are pollution caused by noise used from machinery that's used to excavate and extract the stone in these places, such as the quarries, such as Tor Quarry, and also dust, atmospheric pollution. The amount of dust that gets kicked up, atmospheric pollution. Yeah, so things like dust, which then can cause things like breathing problems, breathing difficulties, if you've got a lot of dust pollution in there as well. And quarries are in rural areas, but often you have large lorries and things like that. Well done to Amelia. Well done, Amelia. I'm going to add yours in there. Rural roads, basically. You get large lorries, which obviously leads to traffic congestion, or obviously a rise in potential accidents, things like that. If you've got lorries on narrow road, all that sort of stuff. And obviously with anything with traffic, we've got emissions, which then can lead to climate change. Again, a lot of this stuff in human paper might link across to physical. So quarrying, significant impacts on the environment. Habitat loss is going to be the big one tomorrow when you talk about anything negative on the environment, habitat loss, but you've got all the others there as well. Right, let's go to the positive then. A positive for UK industry is the car industry. The car industry is probably the leading industry in the UK, and many people learn about Nissan in Sunderland, the Nissan factory in Sunderland. So how is the car industry promoting environmental sustainability? So let's put that there. What's the car industry doing to promote environmental sustainability? Who can tell me what have they done to promote environmental sustainability? Hit us up in the chat, guys. Can you talk about affecting locals? Absolutely. Yeah, maybe you can put that on there. Impacts on locals. Yeah. Local residents could be there as well. So this is all for environmental impacts of UK industry. Yeah, could be on there. Right, let's see what we've got here. Electric vehicles, absolutely. Yeah, zero emissions. Electric vehicles. We'll see how many we can squeeze into this bottom bit here. It's called the Nissan Leaf is the electric car that they make. Nissan Leaf. Electric vehicles. What else we got? Reduce CO2 emissions. Yeah, using hybrid cars. Also, that reduces climate change, greenhouse gases. and climate change. Again, great little link to that one. What else can we fit in here? Guys, this is awesome. Loving it. Yeah, recyclable materials. So most cars are made from 100% recyclable materials. The plastic, the metal doors, the alloy wheels, a lot of it can be recyclable. 100% most cars are recyclable. Well done, 7%. They've got wind turbine. So at Nissan in Sunderland, they use a wind turbine, which generates 7% of their energy for the factory. So their energy comes from renewables, again, lower greenhouse gas emissions and better ways to, more sustainable ways to operate a business. Reduce waste to landfill, well done, recyclable. Yeah, reduce landfill waste, all that good stuff. Right, so if that comes up, reduce landfill waste. If that comes up, I think we are pretty covered with that one, okay? Environmental impacts, you've got the negatives of quarrying, the positives of the UK car industry, and if it comes up, it might be a 6, might be a 9 marker. Any of those, hopefully you can talk around those points and get full marks. So that's question 2. Right, we'll head into question 3. Because I know you're busy. I know you do a lot of revision as well. And I know maths as well is tomorrow. But question 3, everybody in the country studies question 3. It is UK resource management. This is a 15-minute section in the exam. Oh, sorry, the last section was 30 minutes. This one's a 15-minute section. And it will include, we think, in particular, we think it's going to include food or energy of the UK. Things like challenges and opportunities of food and energy. So we'll pick out a couple of those. I think what might be on there is agribusiness, potentially. Agribusiness farming. This is where it's commercial farming. Usually for large supermarkets like Tesco, Asda. Yeah. It's mechanized using machinery. Mechanized farming using machinery. It's intensive farming. They use lots of chemicals. Intensive farming using things like chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers, and large profits. Okay, so that is agribusiness. That's an exam. Well, that's what agribusiness is. It could potentially be on tomorrow's exam. So what can we do to make food more sustainable? UK food industry has many challenges, but what can we do to make it more sustainable? Let's have a little think about that. Hit us up in the chat, guys. What can the UK food industry do to make food production more sustainable? What have you got for this particular section here? Large supermarket. Yeah, I'm just catching up with the chat here. When did it start? It started about 6 o'clock. Reduce food miles. When is eutrophication? Can cause eutrophication. Yeah, absolutely. Chemicals from farms cause eutrophication by being washed into rivers and lakes and ponds. So yeah, a big problem of using chemicals on farms is eutrophication. I'm very impressed. Well done to, who was it that said eutrophication? Well done to UK. Awesome. Grow. Okay, here we go. So we're getting them all here. Sustainability. So what can we do? We can grow your own food in things like allotments. Okay, buy a plot of land, grow your own food and vegetables. That is a good thing to do. What you can eat, buy local. So things like local farmers markets, okay, things like that, or local markets. You could buy local. What else could you do to make your food more sustainable? Sell weirdly shaped fruit. Yeah. I mean, that's a random one, but absolutely. Yeah, don't be so fussy about the way in which your food looks. Just eat what's there, basically, so you're not wasting. Maybe we can put that reduce food waste. Yeah, reduce food waste. Don't be throwing food away. Maybe give it to things like food banks and things like that, where even when it's, you know, coming to close to sell by date, you can use food banks to make it so it's not wasteful. Okay. Other things you can do is eat seasonally. Eat seasonal foods in the UK. Okay. Don't demand to reduce imports. Don't demand imported food, because that's very, very damaging for the environment. Rely on UK-based foods. What can we grow in that particular time was also really good. How else do we? They've got loads of ideas here, guys. Organic food, yes. Who's that? Arian, well done. Organic farming. I think this could be on tomorrow. Organic farming, where you don't use no pesticides or fertilizers, no pesticides and fertilizers, or fertilizers, no chemicals on your food, grown naturally, using things like manure, animal dung, yeah, manure to grow your crops rather than using pesticides and fertilizers. Much more of a natural way and more sustainable way of using or growing your own food. Okay, why do we do all these things? Mainly for two main reasons. It's to reduce your food miles, and this is the distance food travels. Distance food travels from farm to the consumer. So the reason why we look for these sustainable approaches, all of these above help to reduce your food miles, the distance traveled from farm to consumer. And the last one, food miles, is a really important term. We think that might be on tomorrow as well. And the last one we're going to talk about is your carbon footprint. Yeah, it reduces your carbon footprint, which basically is it's because your food's not traveling as far, you're reducing the amount of greenhouse gases, in particular CO2, and then you're reducing the impacts of climate change, which is a fantastic thing. So eat local, eat seasonally, eat food that's, you know, not always perfect. Eat organic food, which is very, very naturally grown, good for the ecosystem. Organic farming, and that will have many, many benefits there. Okay, now I just want to go quickly. So we think food could be on the exam tomorrow. Yeah, these sort of things. Again, make sure you know what organic farming is. I think that could be a big thing tomorrow as well. Organic farming and the importance of that as well. Right, let's have a quick look at UK energy and how that has changed. Okay, so we think UK energy could be up as well. What do we know about UK energy? We've got the highest cost of energy in Europe. Highest cost of energy in Europe. This is really difficult now for our industries and our businesses. This is really affecting the economy. Highest cost of energy in Europe, which is also one of the highest costs of energy in the world. We are energy insecure as a country, energy insecure, which basically means we rely on imported energy from other countries, rely on imports. Again, which is a problem because that means that you have to pay higher prices for the energy, which is coming from countries like France, Belgium, and Norway. We get a lot of energy at the moment from Norway. We used to get it from Russia, but because of the war in Ukraine, we now are getting a lot of our gas and oil from Norway. So that's pretty much the energy sector. What are we trying to do with our energy? We've reduced our fossil fuels, our use of fossil fuels, okay, which are very the carbon-based fuels, basically. So we're about 0% coal pretty much. Oil and gas are around about 30% of oil and gas, okay, in terms of our energy mix. So in terms of the UK energy mix, what energy we use, the mix of energies we use, again, is around about 30% oil and gas. But we're trying to reduce these energies, reduce these sources to meet our climate agreements, to meet climate agreements. Okay, so we're trying to shift away from these carbon-based fuels, these high-polluting fuels, which lead to climate change. Yeah, these are the ones that are driving climate change. They're also fuels that are finite, which means they will run out. There's a limited amount and they will run out, so that's not good. They also, they accelerate climate change, so we don't want these types of fuels in our energy mix. However, they are very efficient, and most of our technologies at the moment in our homes and our cars are based on these types of fuels. The UK is trying to push renewable energy. Renewable energy is a big sector that we're trying to rise. Again, around about 30% of our energy is coming from renewables. Some days it can be as high as 50%, depending on weather conditions. The main ones we're using is wind, onshore and offshore wind farms. This is the most important one. We are the windiest country in Europe. Windiest country in Europe. And that's a good choice of energy for us, wind energy. However, when it's not windy, you don't create as much energy. It's a bit unreliable in that sense. And also aesthetically, people don't like wind turbines. The other energy we're looking at is solar energy, which is becoming more common in the UK. We also have hydroelectric power, in particular in Wales. They use a lot of hydroelectric power energy in areas of Wales because of the steep valleys and the rivers. They have lots of energy that they can use, potential energy that they can harness there. So make sure you know your energies, where it's going. We're moving towards renewable energy at the moment. That's the government policy. So this is government policy to push renewable energies and move away from our non-renewable fossil-based fuels. Okay, I'm going to talk about the final section now, which is a bit difficult for many schools because this goes into question 4 is food, question 5 is water, and question 6 is energy. I don't know which one your school has done and which one it's actually studied. So it'll be one of those, either food, water, or energy potentially as well. So our school looks at water, question 5. What have I got here? Sustainable water management. So this is question 5. This might not be the one that your school studies. So question 5, water. And the first one I'm going to look at is sustainable strategies of water management. Sustainable strategies for water management. Okay, so hit us up in the chat, guys. What can you do to conserve water? How do you save water in our urban areas? What can be done to conserve water? Oh, wait. Whoa, loads coming through here. Some people have already... Yeah, okay. Only drink tea and eat biscuits. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. You just reminded me to have a drink of tea. Oh, that's so good. So what can we do to conserve water? We've got a few ideas here. I'll do a little water droplet. Drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is a really good one. More crop per drop. So you drip the water directly onto the root system, and that helps to save water, maximize the use of water. Hydroponic farming. I think Amelia does the food area. She's got a very good knowledge of food farming and agriculture. Hydroponics is where you farm without soil. You farm just using nutrient-rich water. Sorry, guys, let me just move you down here. Ways to save and conserve water. What have we got here? Oil from Russia. Yeah, we used to use oil from Russia. Thank you, guys. I would do water because that's what's on paper 3. Is yeah, that's true. Yeah, water is on paper 3 as well. Energy hasn't come up in a while. Yeah, energy. I think in question 3, energy could be there. It depends what your school does. Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for chatting with each other. Really appreciate that. Water, yes. Water. Dams and reservoirs, using dams, fixing leaks. Yes. The main problem with the UK infrastructure is the leaks, as you know from paper 3, the reservoir. Fix leaks. Fix leaking infrastructure is a good way to conserve water. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about conservation of water. Very valuable resource. We need to conserve it. So we've got fixing leaks. Thanks for the hearts, guys. I really appreciate that. Yeah, fixing leaks. What else? We've got groundwater management. Ariane, well done. Your knowledge is good. I think you're going to do well tomorrow. Groundwater management. So checking the groundwater level and also the quality of that water. Not just the amount, but the quality of that water in the ground, in the aquifers, keeping an eye on to prevent things like over-abstraction, groundwater monitoring, to prevent over-abstraction of water. This is where you consume more water than can naturally be replenished. So this prevents over-abstraction of water. Yeah, absolutely. Groundwater monitoring, that's a really good one. Groundwater management, reduce leaks, just made my tea. Good. Groundwater management, improving public awareness. Yeah, education's always good. Yeah. Things like switching off the tap, switching off tap and brushing teeth. Yeah. Also things like shower rather than a bath. Shower, not bath. These are just revision notes, okay? Switching tap off when you're brushing teeth, shower, not bath. Other things I've got are dual flush toilets. So I don't know if you've come up with that, but dual flush toilets is a good one. In many modern UK houses now, you have to have the 2 buttons. Small button is 3.5 litres. Large button, 7 litres of water. So you can select how much water you are flushing. Use the little button if you go for a wee. Save the water. Water meters. If you know how much you're spending, you will spend less in theory. Water meters is a big factor of water conservation. Monitoring underground water gardens early in the morning. Yeah, it would. It'd save. Well, it's more effective early in the morning or late at night. Anything else on water conservation? Water meters. Yeah, I think rainwater harvesting. Yeah, well done, Diane. This is where you collect rainwater from your roof and then you use it for your garden. So rainwater harvesting is a really good one. Collecting rainwater, collect and then use it in the garden. There we go. So rainwater is a really good one. I'm going to have, thanks for the hearts, guys. Really appreciate it. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe the video. I would love you to do that. Grey water recycling is a really good one as well. It's not been mentioned. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I see lots of people loving the live stream. Thank you. It means a lot. Okay. You don't know how much it means. Thank you. Grey water recycling is a really important feature. This is where you recycle used water. Usually domestic water being used in the home. So this can be things like washing up. Goes through a filtration system to get any food or anything else like that. Filtration system. And then that water can then be used to flush a toilet. Yeah. That is an example of grey water recycling is a really good example. I'm just laughing at some of the questions I'm getting in the chat. So washing up water, filtration system, then can be used to flush the toilet. You're using multiple ways to basically using the water, which is fantastic. Okay, I am running out of time. I'm also running out of battery on my laptop as well now. I want to do one more thing just to finish off with, which is sustainable water management. Sustainable water management. Come on, man. I can't plug my battery in either. Sustainable water management and sand dams in Kenya. Okay, sand dams in Kenya. Big case study. I think you're going to need to know about sustainable water management tomorrow. I would talk about sand dams. You may talk about the Wakel River Basin. Yeah, these are two case studies that you can revise. Check them out on our Shobi if you're in my school. Check them out on Shobi. They're there. So what is a sand dam? Let's have a quick fire out what a sand dam is. It's a sustainable approach. It's a sustainable approach to water management. Okay, what do? You build a dam. You build a concrete dam across a seasonal river, a river that is flowing at a certain time of the year. What does this do? This will trap. It traps water. Traps water and sand. Why is that good? Well, the sand prevents evaporation of the water, basically stops it from disappearing, and it will also filter the water of contaminants, which is brilliant. So the sand will stop evaporation. It also filters the water. Why is this good? It's reduced people's time, in particular girls, collecting water. So now girls can easily collect water from the sand dam. This has promoted gender equality. So now the girls can go to school. So girls now attend school for education, which obviously improves their life chances, improves productivity of the country, because they're not spending hours walking to an area to collect water. Okay. Also, we've seen a decline in malaria, a reduction in malaria rate because of the use of sand dams. Okay, which is fantastic. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So in terms of summary, this is a bottom-up approach. It's a bottom-up approach, which basically means it's built and managed by the community. Built and managed by the community. Yeah. It's an example of intermediate technology, which basically means if something goes wrong with it, they can fix it, they can repair it. It's appropriate or intermediate technology. So it's nothing too technical. It is literally a concrete dam across a seasonal river. It's appropriate technology or intermediate. These mean the same, by the way, intermediate technology. Why is that good? They can repair it. It's low cost, repair and maintain, and it's low cost. So they don't have to rely on outside help. It's affordable. They cost around about $10,000, okay, to build a sand dam, which is very affordable compared to things like dams and reservoirs. Much, much different. So sand dams are super sustainable, very effective, improve people's lives in countries like Kenya. Kenya has over 10,000 sand dams as well in the country. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I really hope you do well in your paper 2 tomorrow. That really helped you quite a lot with that revision. Check out the earlier video that I did yesterday as well for paper 2. Just trying to switch cameras here, guys. So check that out on the channel. We will be back for paper 3 next week, so keep an eye out for our paper 3 videos. We're very excited for those. You come along and revise with us. But spend the next couple of hours revising your case studies, just getting yourself ready for your exam. And tomorrow you will absolutely smash it. I wish you the best of luck. And yeah, see you in the next video. Take care, guys. All the best. Bye-bye.